When it comes to the question of financial commitment, again, only because of the definition of the term wage is getting changed. I think PF, there could be more commitment. Gratuity, yes, there can be more commitment. And the definition of the term employees will now include contract workers also, right? Particularly for gratuity under Code on Social Security, right? Because PF is part of that code. ESI is part of that code. So contract workers are employees for that purpose. There is no separate definition for gratuity. So gratuity is also part of the code only. So automatically we may have to come to a conclusion that contract workers are employees for the purpose of gratuity also. Right? That is one thing. And if you go through the draft rules issued under the Code on Wages, it clearly says that principal employer has to ensure at least minimum bonus to the contract worker. It is not a true, but I am saying. So maybe the minimum wages, again, it is there is a schedule attached to the Minimum Wages Act. But now through the courts, it is made applicable to all the industries. Similarly, it is made applicable to all the employees, right? Even managers, when it is prescribed, it is to be done. So again, minimum wages, it is going up. PF, it is going up. Gratuity going up. Bonus going up. Or maybe for FTEs, again, gratuity is to be paid. Right. So amenities to contract workers. Now, as per Section 16 of the Contract Labor Act, the liability is lashed on the contractor to provide amenities, starting from the providing drinking water. Only if he fails, the liability is passed on to the principal employer. But through the code, it goes directly to the principal employers. And providing crush, even if ESI part is applicable, right? That could increase the financial commitment. Then reduction in threshold limit. Again, safety officer. If there are 1,000 or more workers in a factory, only then a safety officer is to be appointed currently. Now it is getting reduced to 500. Similarly, welfare officer, instead of 500, is coming down to 250. And canteen, instead of 250, it is coming down to 100. Maybe when I look at it from social perspective, that is fine. I don't say no. But when I look at it from employer's perspective, a commitment, financial commitment can go up. And leave eligibility. So today, a worker in a factory, he becomes eligible for leave only if he has completed 240 days of work in a continuous period of 12 months. Instead, that 240 is now getting reduced to 180. Right? Again, I think this could increase the commitment to the financial commitment to the employers. Then contribution to the reskilling fund. It is an additional commitment. And amenities for transgenders, because it is to be separately provided like we do for women employees now, and enhance the penalty. Right? All these things, in fact, I've just clubbed it, could increase the financial outgo of the employers. And I think there are certain things for which I think the process is to be made strict and it is to be enhanced. I think clear governance must be there. Say, for example, salary within 7 days, right? Maybe even if you have more than 1,000 workers, hitherto you would have paid maybe before 10th day, 10 days. Now, I think you may have to change your process because you have to now do it before 7 days, right? Because the change is through the code. And full and final settlement, even for a person who is relieved because of resignation. Now, I think most of the persons, without even giving the information, they just quit. I think we may have to, as employers, come up with a proper process. If that is not there, then I think it will be difficult again. Then the principal employer to make the payment in the first place, right? I think many of the cases for amenities and all with respect to contract labor and the consideration, monthly consideration to the contractor, he has to make the payment to the contractor in the first place. Only out of that consideration, the contractor has to in turn make the payment of wages to his workers, right? So again, we may have to improve the process. Now, currently it is not there because it appears both are different. Totally isolated, because irrespective of whether the principal employer is making the payment or not, the contractor is making the payment of salary to his workers. Now, that is what is happening. But if it has to happen as per what the code expects, then I think we may have to change the process. Then ceiling for bonus to be fixed by the appropriate governments. I think currently it is 21,000 for determining the eligibility and 7,000 or minimum rates of wages, whichever is higher, for doing the calculation. Now, I think it is uniform across India, but now as per the code, now the powers are given to the appropriate government. So it could vary. So we should watch out. And the data availability, I think we need to have a PACA data, right? Particularly with respect to interested migrant workers. Should be the outcome of based on our experience during the recent pandemic, right? Many of the employers do not have the clear data about the interstate migrant workers at all, right? So again, there must be a clear process with the available with the employers to have a data. Then workers consent for overtime. So today, if the worker is refusing to do overtime, then that could be considered as maybe insubordination, misconduct, and the employer can proceed against that person. Disciplinary action can be taken. But now, I think the worker's consent is to be taken. Again, this could be a major change. For that, I think without, if it to go on very smoothly, I think we need to come up with a proper process for that. So these are all certain changes which would make the employers to maybe change, bring in a change in their process, so that that will be pakka. And of course, there are a few points which were clarified through the courts. Not treating regular employees of the contractor as contractor. It is very clearly it is excluded. The regular employees of the contractor, if they are in receipt of social security benefits and they are entitled for regular increments, I think they are not treated as contract workers at all. Even today, I would say legal position is that, but somehow the practice is completely different. But now that is this is brought about. I think some clarity is now given, and the exclusion of gratuity from the term wages. I think this is the confusion which happened because of the judgment by Madras High Court in Madras Fertilizers case, right? I think there is some gratuity which is found in the inclusion portion, some gratuity which is found in the exclusion portion of the term wages as defined under the current Payment of Wages Act, right? I think now it is very clear. It is very clearly excluded, gratuity. It is not at all treated as wages. Then defining core activity, I think it is now available only in Andhra Pradesh. I think it is followed. Then I think that should also give some clarity so that the in core activity, the contract workers cannot be engaged. That is also there. Then the coverable employees and non-coverable employees, both are to be counted for determining the applicability for ESI or PF. That clarity is also now coming in. And appropriate government, currently the term is not defined for the purpose of employees compensation. Now that is getting defined.